Okay, so I did my analysis. Like I completed my project for one-on-one games in League of Legends, and these are some conclusions, right? So, what is the best if you're a tank? What do you want to specialize in, AP or AD, right? Statistically speaking, 62% of chance you're gonna run into AD, so pick AD runes. They're much better. Win rates, that's the win rates. Most of the time you're gonna be playing against. So win rates, they will go down as you go higher up the ladder. Grandmaster is 100% win rate because I played one game, so sample of population is too small. So you see, like if you play against bronze, it's unlikely you're gonna lose. And then if you play against platinum and diamond, you will have lower win rate than in gold and silver. That's because they're just a little bit better. They're noticeably better, especially one tricks. They are so good. What champs to play to have high win rate, right? What champs to play? So Tryndamere, very strong one-on-one, and then Nasus, right? Okay, as Tryndamere, what matchups you need to dodge, right? I have a list in here. Those guys, right? If you see those guys as Tryndamere, just write in all chat, just say, oh, I got wrong runes, let's remake. And then into those, well, Yoni and Yasuo, you can beat them, kind of, you can beat them. I would argue you can beat them, right? But overall, just pick Nasus into them, right? And all you do is just farm. Just farm, 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 and you just outscale them. And that's it. Nasus versus Nasus matchup, it's all about runes. Normally what they do is they take weird runes. I've seen people take very strange runes. So all you do is you take the resolve tree, standard resolve tree. You know, you have grasp, you have the turret damage, you have your 8-minute armor and magic resist, and then scaling overgrowth, I think, right? On your defensive tree, on the other tree, you want to take mana, right? It's like inspiration, I think it's called. Or it's sorcery. So in here you go this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then you go sorcery, you go mana flow and transcendence. In your secondary runes, you go ability haste and then double armor. That's what you run into Nasus versus Nasus. If they run anything else against you, you simply can outscale them, and that's it. Starting items best on Nasus are Horn. Always take Horn, and then other item. Horn is just busted. Very very strong on Nasus because early game you will still have troubles against a lot of champions because I mean it's Nasus early game, right? But as soon as you hit maybe level 6, after level 6 it's much easier. And then once you get level 10, it's like, especially after 8 minutes, once you get your overgrowth going, once you get your this thing, conditioning, once you get this, oof, you become too tanky basically. At that point you have a lot of stacks, so you can kind of life steal very very quickly. So it's very good. Okay, let's look at champions. So Kiana said, nah, unlikely Kiana to be a number one. I think number one is going to be Yasuo, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure. Because Yasuo is like so consistently played. Yeah, 52 Yasuos. So it's 52 Yasuos, right? out of 580. My second guess would be Z. I'm pretty sure it's Z. Is the second one. Z is like always played. 43. Yeah. Okay, 43. My next guess would be Akali, for sure. I'm pretty sure Akali is next. Yeah. 43 for Akali as well. Whoops. I forgot to include names. So this is Yasuo. This is Zed. This is Akali. My next guess would be Yone, I think is picked quite frequently. Right? 26 Yone. Let's see if we can find somebody more than 26. Oh, Irelia. Yeah, yeah. Irelia is very frequently picked as well. 34. Yeah. Irelia, 34. Yeah. So most of the time, like Yasuo is gonna be the yeah. So that's the statistics. Like Yasuo, Zed, Akali, Irelia, and Yone. Now these two champions into Tryndamere are completely useless. I mean, they're just this matchup is unplayable for them. I mean, people say Yasuo can beat Tryndamere. There is no way on the face of this galaxy Yasuo can beat Tryndamere. It's just Tryndamere has to play so bad, so poorly, because Yasuo is only strong when you have minions around. As soon as there are no minions, Yasuo is just like 3 hits. Like you just need 3 to 4 hits, and the Yasuo is gone. Right, that's it. There's no counterplay to him. Right, and like he only charges his shield when he has his um, minions. Right, without minions, he has no shield and 4 hits, and that's it. Zed is the same. Like he's so squishy. If he uses his shadow one time just to harass you, you catch him with W and you all in him, and that's it. He dies. Like there's literally nothing he can do. I have some kind of games where I play against Yasuo or Zed. You'll see how it's just a slaughter. It's not even fun. Akali against Tryndamere, very tough. What you need to do in here, you need to survive her poke, right? And then you need to. Honestly, I buy magic resist in here. Not on my first buy, but I normally go horn um, and rejuvenation beats, 3 of them, right? And then I farm up until I get my health, because I run this on Tryndamere, conditioning and overgrowth. Once you get, pass 8 minutes, you will have a lot of health. You have like 300 extra health, plus you get magic resist for free, and then you buy a bit more magic resist, and then you build damage, and then she cannot burst you basically. Like she will do her full combo, and you'll still have about 40% of your health left. And past that point, like her cooldown on her ulti is so long, you can all in her as soon as she misses her shroud. Aurelia is a very simple matchup. You beat her all the time. Just make sure don't fight her when she has 5 stacks. Very, very simple. And Yoni, honestly, is he's bad pick into Tryndamere, in my opinion. In one-on-one, he's just unplayable. Same with Yasuo, right? He does his thingies, right? He has his as soon as he misses his Q, you can again all in him, right? The best way to approach him is just to not spin into him, catch him with your W, walk up to him, start auto hitting him, because what he's gonna do his shadow, and you just spin out, and that's it. And you do 2 trades like this, and then that's it. He can no longer farm. Then you can freeze the lane, and then that's it. It's game over, basically, at that point. The most important thing is don't dive these players. Like, don't dive Akali, don't dive Yasuo, unless there are no minions. You can do it. Like these champions, like Yoni, Akali, and Zed, very hard to dive them, right? You're better off zoning them out of minions than just taking the turret, right? Just beat them with minions and turret, right? Because once there are no turrets, they are like lunch for you, pretty much, right? And again, watch out for these matchups. Now, with these matchups here, especially things like Volibear, like right, Ornn, especially, I think. Who else falls? Urgot, right? Urgot is the same. Now, when you play Tryndamere, you can 3-0 them, right? In the beginning, right? You will feel like you're winning the game, right? But what happens is they just scale and they outscale you so hard, your items don't matter. They really don't matter. Just read about them, because they buy things like Thornmail, Radiant Omen, and Ninja Tabi, those steel-plated boots, I think they're called now, and you literally do no damage, like literally no damage at all. Now, the side, you can also build armor, but then again, the problem is again your damage, right? So, if you build defensive against them, you will do no damage at all. Like it's not even going to be registering, right? Whereas if they build defensive, they will do significant damage, right? And if you go defensive against them, they will out heal you. That's the problem, right? Because they have built-in sustain and they have percentage damage, right? So they will out DPS you. So there is no actual way for you to win. You know what I mean? Now you can beat Darius's very easily if they don't know what they're doing. If they run strange runes, like for example, Darius with Flash and Ignite with Conqueror, you can beat him as Tryndamere. But if he's like Ghost, Flash, and he builds Stridebreaker on Darius, and he knows what he's doing, he's like Darius main, he will kite you to death, basically. Very, very hard to counterplay. And Malphite goes without saying, that's a dodge. 1,500 Malphite, you're not going to do damage in here. Nasus the same. On Aram, he's going to stack like crazy. Cho'Gath is pretty much Nasus, because late game he's gonna do like 80% of your damage with his R. So he lands 1 Q, he flashes because you're silent, like he's gonna flash, and he's gonna R you and you're dead. That's it, right? So you have to ulti. And if you ulti early, right? If you ulti early, he's so tanky, like, dude, it'll take you like 30 seconds to kill him. You just cannot survive long enough, right? Atrox you can beat with Tryndamere, but again, the problem with this guy, if he goes Stridebreaker, you're doomed, because his ulti gives him so much move speed, and he can kite you very easily. Vayne, you can build unskilled Vayne. LeBlanc, you're not beating with Tryndamere unless he's Iron or unranked, right? It's just not playable. Rengar, you can beat with Tryndamere, but it's very difficult, right? You better just take a Nasus, farm, farm, farm. You outscale, you go and you destroy him. Bard, not even gonna talk about it, right? There is no way you can reach Bard with Tryndamere, right? Good Bard. I mean, Iron unranked, yeah, you can, but like Gnar, same thing. Like Gnar is beatable. You can beat him if he has no Stridebreaker. But what they do is they build Stridebreaker, and that's it. You're done. Do you know what I mean? Same goes for that. Urgot is the same. Urgot is pretty much Volibear, right? Early game you can kind of beat him, but then it's game over. Once he scales, his damage is too high. He's too tanky, and again, if he goes Stridebreaker, there is literally nothing you can do. Literally nothing you can do, because Urgot does not need to turn his back to you, right? You have to think about Urgot, right? So you cannot catch him with your W, right? If you spin into Urgot, he's going to flip you over, right? If you dodge his flip over, he's going to activate his Stride Breaker, and that's it, right? And then he's gonna shoot his poison, and then you're slowed, so you cannot do the damage. Do you know what I mean? And remember, like Stride Breaker has 20-second cooldown, right? So by the time you reach him, right, he has range as well, right? So by the time you reach him, it will take like about 5 seconds to reach him, right? Because you have to literally walk to him, right? So then you're gonna start hitting him, right? He's gonna do shitloads of damage, like shitloads of damage. Sometimes what they do is they shoot their ulti at you to slow you down, and again he gets free damage, right? At that point in time, when you reach him, his flip is going to come back, right? So now you're slowed and you cannot dodge his flip. So he's going to flip you. Now he's going to stun you, right? All this time you're slowed. You cannot do damage. And he's like doing shitload of damage. At that point in time, you have to ulti. Once you ulti, right, he's probably gonna flash out. You're gonna flash after him, right? At that point in time, his stride breaker is back. He's going to use his stride breaker, and that's it. The game is over for you, right? That's how it played. That's how it plays out. Another annoying matchup I talk about probably is Kiana, right? Kiana and what's his name? The guy with the harpoon. Um, he does like true damage on his R, which he can spam. No, not Kane. What's his name? No, not Seth. He's like in the water. What's his name? Pyke. There you go, Pyke. So Kiana and Pyke are very similar matchups. Do not fight into them. Like I have a video where I was playing against Platinum Pyke, I think, right? And Kiana, Platinum Kiana, I think. Right. The most important thing is don't fight into them. She might first blood you, but just build defensive and build sustain and push with minions, and that's it. She loses then, right? She does not have very like the problem with Kiana, right? If she's harassing you, she's using her cooldowns on you, and if you position correctly, she's not hitting the minions. So minions are gonna take the turret, right? And she does not have a very good wave clear, right? Then she's gonna start panicking. She's gonna start trying to wave clear with her abilities. When she does that, her cooldowns are quite long. It's like 6 to 8 seconds, which means you can literally spin into her and beat her up, right? So win with minions this one. Pyke is the same. Pyke has no wave clear, right? His whole game is he harasses you, makes you chase him, and then he just stuns you and kites you forever. So it's the same thing with Pyke. You push with minions, right? You build defensive. You build a lot of lifesteal. As soon as he tries to combo you, you just lifesteal back and push with minions. He's gonna start panicking. Pyke is even easier than Kiana because his wave clear is non-existent, right? He just has no wave clear at all. As soon as you start spawning super minions, that's it, game over. All right, and that's about it. Easy peasy. If you want quick games, Tryndamere is your man. If you want 100% win rate, Nasus is your man. Because nothing beats Nasus on this map. Like, the only champions that can legitimately deal with Nasus on this map would be a very, very good LeBlanc, or very, very good Lucian, right? Other than that, like I don't see any problems because you see LeBlanc and Lucian, they can take down the turret very, very quickly, right? Especially Lucian, dude, he can take down the turret very quickly. And Nasus early game needs his turret alive. So what you need to do is you need to max your E. If you see that this Lucian is very aggressive and he's damaging turret, you need to max your E and clear the wave as fast as possible, right? Then you can do it. And if you don't do that, then if you lose your first turret as Nasus, it's very bad, very, very bad. If you lose second turret and you're like below level 10, you lost the game at that point, pretty much, right? Because what's going to happen, you're going to run out of mana and you will have no way to deal with minions, like massive, massive spawns of minions. And your health, like your those little plus thingies, like that you get to get your mana back, is going to be on his side, and you cannot walk up because he's going to kill you, right? And that's it. So you simply run out of mana, and that's it. You lose the game. So you need to make sure that you keep your turret alive as much as possible, and you do that by maxing your E and just kind of pushing the minions away, because you have to remember, right? You have overgrowth, so even if minions die and you don't Q stack them, you still gain benefit because you get your health, right? You just need to kind of, and also Nasus kind of scales naturally well with levels. So even if you're not stacking, your levels are going up and you become so tanky that Lucian without items cannot really deal with you. So you just have to play to that. And that's it. Okay, so that's the project. Overall, we have 97% win rate, right? Good stuff.